Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Live with Ty. Today's guest is someone with a need for speed. Joining us today is the fastest human in BU history. He's a U20 European gold medalist and a Patriot League champion. Please give a warm welcome to our next guest, Toby Makoyawo. You know, despite Toby at times reaching top speeds of up to 22 miles per hour, we somehow managed to get him standing still in the studio with us today. Toby, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tyler. Looking forward to it.
So before we get started, how do you properly pronounce your last name? I've been watching you and people butcher it a lot of the time, so I don't want to continue to do it. Sorry if I did that earlier.
I'm sorry that. Nah, you're good. I would say the best way to always pronounce my name is literally pronounced how it's spelled. Makoyawo.
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 Yeah.
Say it one more time for me.
Makoyawo.
Makoyawo. If I mess up a couple times, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
You're good.
So in an article that I was reading about you, it said that you were a late bloomer, that you had this obsession with football until you were 17 years old. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so obviously with track and field, I was like dabbling in it. I would say like I probably started when I first got into secondary school, but obviously I was just running for my district and stuff like that. And then I'll say like around the age of like 15, I went to my first nationals. But in this period of time, I was still purely focused on soccer, as you lot say in America, or football. I was trying to get into academies and stuff like that. Had like little stints here and there, played for my Sunday league team and stuff. So I don't know, it was mad hard like leaving football because like that was my life. Like I don't even watch it no more because like it was literally my life. And then like around like 16, 17, that's when I would like say I really took off in track. When I was 17 mainly, went to the British indoor champs as a 17-year-old, and then obviously I came third, and then it's kind of when I knew that like, okay, cool, like this sport is for me.
Like track was for you.
Yeah.
Because I was reading in an actual Daily Free Press article by your old coach, Peter Griffiths, that's pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
He said that the special thing about you is that you give 100% to whatever you put your mind to. So given that soccer was kind of your forte for so long, how are you not playing for English Premier League side?
I feel like there was a period in time where basically I was playing football and at the same time I was running track.
Okay.
So obviously like at that point, like as much as I want to believe I'm superhuman, like I'm human, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't do both. So I think people say like track chooses you, you know what I'm saying? Like in life, of course, people pivot, people take different journeys and stuff. So I wouldn't say it was like me giving up on football. I would just say it's more so like, hey, cool, like I know what God's calling for me is now at this point. Like he's showing me my talents in a certain sport, and like I'm like one of the best in the nation. Like at this point in time, I was like at least top 10 in the nation for what I was doing. So it just made sense to like purely focus on one thing. Like I would say like I didn't give up on sports. I may have given up on soccer, but like sport was gonna be my DNA. So I decided, you know what, let me just put everything I have into track. And I guess when I gave that 100% truly, that's when things kind of took off. So yeah.
So before you came to BU, you were the U20 European champion in the 100-meter dash and the 4x1 relay, which took place in Estonia. So with that, you could have gone anywhere. You know, you could have gone to a power school, a non-power school, but you ended up choosing BU. How and why? I think everybody was thinking it. You know, we got him. You know, lovely to have you here, but how'd you come to that?
Yeah, so basically, when I was being recruited, I was working with an agency at the time, and essentially, at the time, I'd ran a very fast 60-meter time. So obviously, I had the 60 meters, 100 meters, and 200 meters. I ran 6.68 in the 60 meters. So that put me like, I think at the time, I was the 5th fastest under 20 in the world, or 4th fastest, one of the two.
But it was actually the 5th, yeah.
Oh, 5th, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I'd say what happened was that my 100-meter time was very slow. So a lot of the people in the US thought I was a 60-meter specialist, even though I'm like 6'2". Like I'm clearly not a 60-meter specialist, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so obviously like the schools that were recruiting me before European championships were schools like Boston, Michigan, Harvard, like Purdue, all these academic schools and stuff. Obviously back then as well, like I was more like academically inclined. Like obviously I knew I wanted to be an athlete, but at the same time I still wanted to pursue like academic pursuits. But yeah, by the time Europeans had come, I'd already committed to Boston University. So obviously I'd ran 10-2 at Europeans, obviously put me like highly ranked in the world and stuff like that. But I guess my whole thing was that if they didn't see my potential in me, then like there's no point in me switching or decommitting like after I've run the first time, because end of the day, the coach who found me is the one who believed in me and believed that I can go on to do what I did at the European Championships.
So you ended up coming to BU where you had a dream start. You were labeled the fastest human in BU history at only 19 years old. You broke the 100-meter record in the preliminaries, and then you were also Patriot League champion for the 60 and 200 meters. It couldn't have gone much better for you your freshman year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'll say Yeah, freshman year was definitely something. I would say partially, like especially in the indoor season, I didn't think I performed to my capabilities, even though like everyone's like, wow, yeah, you won the 60. Like I wanted to make nationals for both 60 and the 200. I made it first to 200. I think my thing was like I was always thinking big. Like I used to skip steps a lot. I'm just naturally ambitious, you feel me? So, but I'll say the outdoor season, obviously I opened up, and yeah, in my season open, I ran in the times I ran. Like for me, that showed like that was an indication of like what I could do. So yeah.
So also before you even, let's say, came to BU during your time, that's when you started to get into content creation in the form of short form videos. So did you always have, I guess, the bigger picture in mind, knowing that you're destined for greatness before you even did anything? I was watching some of your other videos, and let's say your running form could use some improvement. You've definitely come a long way.
You know, players, man. Commenting on our running form. Yeah, I would say there's a time basically. So I was in a room with two of my teammates from the Great Britain team at the time, and it was like maybe like a day before my final, and I was already thinking about like, cool, I need to market myself this certain way if I win. Like I need to make sure I create this edit. I need to make sure that like I post photos at a certain time, a certain day. So at the back of my mind, I would always tell people that look, I want to blow up on Instagram and TikTok. It wasn't more so for attention, but more so for marketability. Like I know that in track and field, like marketability it does help when it comes to endorsements and signing contracts and stuff like that. Yeah, it makes a big difference, and I feel like as well the sport wasn't as well known. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've always been thinking about that, and I always knew that at one point in time I'm gonna do what I said. Like I'm gonna make sure that I blow up and get all these followers and stuff. And yeah, I've been saying it. Like I was speaking to someone about it, like literally like maybe 2 or so months ago. Like she was like saying like, yeah, I remember you said this. Like you were definitely gonna blow up and make all this content, and you ended up doing it. So I'm big on following through on my actions. You know what I'm saying? Like if I said something, I'm gonna do it. You feel me? So.
And it wasn't any of your parents in your ear. That was just something from the get-go. You're like, I got this.
No, I feel like my parents didn't really understand it. I feel like initially they was more so like concerned I was putting myself too much in the public eye. Because obviously I'm posting a lot and I'm saying all these things, and like they're having like people that like, I don't know, my dad was calling me one time, was like, yeah, my friends' kids were seeing your videos, So like they're starting to notice that like, okay, cool, like Toby's actually everywhere, and maybe it gave him a bit of anxiety, but I showed them that like I'm gonna only put out like positive content and stuff. So, but yeah, it was all. I was always thinking about it. Like I think the reason why is because basically I tried to start a media company and during my gap here.
What was that called?
It was called Eye for Talent at the time.
Eye for Talent.
I changed the name so many times. Eye for Talent, Revelation Media.
Revelation Media. Okay,
yeah,
it had a revelation.
But yeah, I just kept them changing the name. But long story short, my whole plan was to video football players, musicians, and athletes. So I was like track athletes. So I was like going around the country and stuff. Made all the content, documented it, had an editor and stuff. But it just didn't work out because I think what I noticed in media stuff is that you need to like everyone needs to be aligned. Like, everyone needs to be on the same page, and like if like you having issues with editors, if you have an issue with like just locations, the athletes aren't ready, like it just causes a lot. So it was a good experience though, but it made me realize I had a passion for like content creation and like just creating like stories and stuff like that. But then I was like, cool, instead of doing it for like everyone, let me see what I can do for myself first, and then after that I can then branch out. So that was my way of thinking, and that's how I kind of got into all that stuff.
Well, I don't know if you thought about this, but it could be also, you said that you have to work with other people covering different musicians, different athletes. But if you're the star yourself, when you kind of have to cover other stars, it doesn't usually line up that well, you know, when you're the main show yourself, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like me as a person, naturally, like I'm always like to help. So like, even though I'm in an individual sport, like, yeah, I do train and, you know what I'm saying, I need to be the guy, like, I'm big on helping as well. I'm big on like elevating people with me. You know what I'm saying? That was like a big thing for me. So I was like, cool, like, yeah, cool. I'm doing all this stuff, but at the same time, like, I want to kind of use my platform at the same time to like elevate everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just be the one at the top just by myself. Cause I don't know, man, I'm big on collaboration. I'm big on, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone can eat. You feel me? So,
that's true. I mean, Drake does say at the top it gets pretty lonely, so maybe no one wants to be there. So you have 3 main channels that you post most of your videos on. You have Instagram, TikTok, and also YouTube.
Yeah.
Can you say the different names of the channels, and what's your purpose? When people watch your channel, what are you hoping they get out of it?
Yeah, so obviously on my TikTok, my name goes as T Mako double O. I recently changed my main Instagram name to Mansa Mako, and then I have Mako Speed. That's like the main track page.
Okay.
And then I guess my TikTok combines both my like just all my kind of video content, And also I got my YouTube as well. That's just my name, Toby Makoyawo. I'll say the YouTube channel was more so like I love long form. Like people think that I'm like big on short form, but for me personally, if I could get my way, like I would do purely long form. Like I love
Really?
documentaries. I watch some documentaries when I'm by myself on Netflix, especially. Like there's some amazing ones. I just feel like you can tell stories, but these stories are real. You feel me? Like
So when you got to be you, you already had kind of a little bit of a social following. Did it help that you had a teammate in Leon Christian in the sense that he also had a huge social following and his page Want to Get Faster, where name's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
He teaches people how to get fast. How was that working, collaborating with him? I was looking on Instagram. You guys have tons of videos working together.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Spicer, too.
yeah, of course, my guy. Yeah, I would say like freshman year. I would say maybe around maybe October, November time. I was obviously big on posting and stuff like that, and I was telling him like I want to get big, and we was always discussing like how we can build our brands and stuff, and I was bringing all these ideas, and Leon was bringing all these ideas as well. And yeah, like it was just amazing because like we would just all make content together. Like I'll record him, he'll record me. Every practice, I'll record him, he'll record me. Like continuous. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like we was always coming up with different ideas. But I guess the real person I go pay homage to was his name is Richard Bulin and Jack Frisbee as well. They're two guys on the team. Like they're the two guys for real that kind of taught us. Like I ain't gonna take credit for like blowing up because it was literally them two that showed me like the way. And obviously the whole point was that they were like, cool, like do this, follow this exact method. It may be mundane and boring for now, but like after that, once you have your own following, then you can branch out and kind of create what you want to create. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they showed me the formula, man. It's all about just catching someone's eye and like when you swipe, if you just see like a good caption, you're gonna just stay on the video and find out like, okay, cool, how do I do that? Or he just said this, like I'm intrigued. Like let me see the video to kind of see like what he did to get faster, or what he did to run this time, or what he did to be #1 in the nation, or whatever it is that I captioned at the time. So.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope you're not gatekeeping here because you're not going to like the next question I'm going to ask. If you could share the formula with people out there watching them, if for blowing up, especially if you're not coming up with yourself, someone took the time and taught you how to do it, and you've had so much success with it.
Yeah, so it's different nowadays. I think I capitalized when, especially in track and field, when no one was really doing what I was doing at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I think #1 thing, just make sure you're consistent in posting. Like, don't post once a week. Like, there are people that release 300 videos every week, and you're posting once a week. Like, you're not gonna get no traction. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Are you one of those 300?
I'm not one of the people.
200? 100?
I would say the max I did probably in a week was probably like, I would say 30 maybe.
30 in 1 week?
Yeah, maybe 30.
Oh my gosh, these screenagers, bro.
That's what you gotta do to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way. Like, it's consistency. Another thing that's so key, like you really gotta be like so strong and secure in yourself because you're gonna have a lot of people saying like, why is he doing that? Why is he posting all this content? Why is he showing all of his this, that? And it's like, what's the saying? It's like, first they laugh and then they copy or something like that. That's literally what happened to me and Leon. Like everyone will be laughing, everyone will be kind of saying, oh, this is cringe, this is it, this is that. Now the whole track and field community, all of a sudden content creators, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure that you actually can't care like what people are saying about you, what people are thinking about you. Like you gotta make that content for yourself and just be brave, go be courageous and like just be original, like be yourself. And yeah, like just create value for your audience. Like it's like business. Like in anything in life, if you provide value, you'll get something back. Whether it's a monetary return, like you'll get something back. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna create content, like make sure you actually create value for your audience. You know.
You talk about, let's say, adding value. It seems like in all your pages, it's to inspire and motivate, or is it one or the other, or is it a little bit of both?
Nah, definitely combined. Obviously, I would say like I transitioned. So the whole thing was I was seeing all these TikToks seeing TikToks on TikTok of like these motivational like videos, and it'll be like these basketball videos basically, just edits of like random college players, and I'll have these captions behind them. Like they just resonate with me crazily. Like I don't know, like I'll read them and I'll be like, yeah, this is just hard. You should like it, and it's like it just resonates with your soul. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I might sound crazy to people, but I was like, cool. Let me like do this for track, cause like it just like I can see how it's touching me. So I know that if I do the same thing, it will touch other people in the track community. So obviously I started making the videos. I started going from like giving people advice on how to run faster to like more so just like short and sweet quotes to like just keep you going through the day, keep you going, like get you encouraged to go to practice, to make sure you don't give up and stuff. And I guess a lot of it, especially recently, especially over the last year, I would say like it's also kind of my outlet. like how I cope with like my struggles and stuff, you'll kind of see like if you really follow my coach, you're like if you really follow them, you'll know exactly where my emotions are at in terms of how I relate to track. Like around my injuries and stuff, you'll kind of see the quotes get a bit like, I wouldn't say sad, but they'll be a bit more like a more serious, more like don't give up, like don't give up on your dreams, like stay at it kind of quotes. You'll see when I'm happy, you'll see me doing like more like funny TikToks of like this like a cool caption or something like that. Obviously more recently it's been more like you can come back type quotes, like don't give up, you know what I'm saying? So I say it's almost like my little journal as well. It changed, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I like that you mentioned quotes because, again, I was doing my stalking of you, forgive me. And I wrote down some of my favorite ones, and I want to see, out of the 3 that I wrote down, which one are your favorites. You ready? So you said one where, they said that I've been moving different. I'm just beyond their mental. Love that one. Embrace your current position, learn, then come out greater. And the last one is, some will succeed in the NCAA when they're 24, some at 18 or 19. Don't be embarrassed if it takes you longer to achieve your goals. So out of those 3, which one's your favorite?
I would say probably the last one, the one I put on Twitter.
The NCAA?
Yeah, because I feel like
Why?
there's this stigma. Obviously, I don't know. Like I see a lot of TikToks and it's like people basically saying like you shouldn't be in NCAA when you're 24, 25, 26. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like,
I'm trying to be here till I'm 30, right?
30 may be OD. But then again, hey, if that's God's plan for you, that's God's plan. But I don't know, man. Like everyone's time comes. You know what I'm saying? Like it may take me till I'm 25 to truly achieve what I want to achieve, but like end of the day, I still achieved it. It's better than me not achieving it. Like I'd rather achieve it at 25, 26, 27 than not achieve it at all. So if I go stay in NCAA time 24, 25, for me to go on to run 9.7, 19.5 or whatever times it is I want to run at the time, like that's fine because no one's gonna take that away from me. Like only a few people in the world will be able to achieve the type of heights. So like regardless if it's at 25 or at 19, like you still achieve that. And I feel like people like especially because of social media nowadays, everyone wants to like rush the process like so much. Like I'm like, nah, like it's actually like the journey is generally better than the destination. Like as much as you get there and it's like I've
You
got
quote
there.
that.
I did I quote that?
Yeah, no, you could quote that. The journey's better than the destination.
I mean, sure, I'll have to use that for my next TikTok, innit? But
Stay tuned.
but yeah, like it is like I think everything I've been through, like it's taught me something. You know what I'm saying? So like if I literally stayed in NCAA till I'm 24, and that's when I achieve my goals, like that's fine because I know how much experience I'm gonna get in those 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I'm big on that. I'm just big on the process, man. Like I don't know, like what's the best example? Maybe like someone like Duke Dennis. He like what's it called? I follow this story kind of a bit. Like he was like in the military, like after like he was like
he?
yeah, like he was.
I thought he was always on YouTube.
Nah, man, like he joined the military. Like he only started YouTube when he was like trying to get out of the military and stuff, innit? And then yeah, he started doing YouTube like for real, started going hard, and then it wasn't too like late on, like 25, 26, where he started like blowing up for real. Like now he's 30. Like you don't see anyone comment on the fact that he's 30 years old. They may do like, oh okay, but still that guy. No one's taking it away from him. That guy. You know what I'm saying? So like everyone is so focused on becoming rich millionaires at 21, 22, and it's like this happens to everybody, man. I just personally think like the longer you work, the like sweeter the reward, and you're just gonna just cherish it so much more. So
well, thanks for sharing that. And then for those of you watching, if you want to get out of the military, start a YouTube channel. So sophomore year, things started to change a little bit for you. You had 2 surgeries within the span of 1 year. You ruptured a tendon in your hamstring. Then you had a full rupture in your quad muscle.
Yeah.
I know that couldn't have been easy. What was that process like for you?
yeah, the quad one was a tough one because it wasn't athletic related. So that one like hit hard. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I learned from my injuries is just that like what it takes to truly be a professional athlete. I think because I was still young. I mean, it was only a year ago-ish, but I think I've grown so much in that period of time. But I just didn't really conceptualize what it truly took to be great. You feel me? I mean, I'm talented and I work hard, but like all the extra things, I started to realize how important they were.
Like what? What are some of the extra things?
I'd say definitely nutrition, sleep, I guess mental as well. I guess, the biggest one actually is surrounding yourself with the right people. Okay. I think that's the biggest thing. I just don't think I was around the right people at the time. I don't think a lot of people have my best interests at heart. And I feel like as well, like, I guess with the injuries, it's tough because obviously you're the person dealing with it. But then again, I think with long story short, a lot of people will put blame on you for your circumstance. Like, I think when things go wrong, everyone wants to put outward blame. Like it's your fault. Da, 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 da. Even me, when I had my first surgery, when I had my first injury, I was thinking about outward. I wasn't taking accountability for my own actions.
Yeah.
My second surgery, so I take accountability of my own actions, of like how I played a part into what happened. You know what I'm saying? But the issue is, I feel like the people in my corner at the time weren't taking accountability for how they played a part in how the injury happened. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was when I started to, like, you know what I'm saying, realize that I really have to have the right people around me if I really want to succeed for real. And like, I just made some difficult decisions and stuff. And yeah, it was a tough time, but I know I've come out stronger. Like, I'm so resilient at this point. Like, it's not much that can phase me in terms of the sport, in terms of injury. I don't know what else can phase me. Like, I've been through it all. So.
Well, in one of your IG posts, when you were kind of keeping your fans updated with your current circumstance, you said that you made the decision to repair this injury. So when I'm hearing something or reading something like that, it makes me ask the question: if you wanted to, could you have kept competing?
Yeah, the quad one. So obviously, to kind of explain the injury, basically, I got hurt in around April time. It was like 2 weeks before I meant to train. This was like 2022. I meant to compete at Baylor. So it was like 3 weeks after around 9-9.
Okay.
Obviously, my body's never gone that fast before. And maybe in that period of time, I wasn't doing the correct things and realizing I didn't realize what I just done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, number one, people around me kind of, I wouldn't say belittled it, but it was like, yeah, you run 9-9, it was windy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't really done it for real. So my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like, I shouldn't add any different. I should still train hard, still push through. You know what I'm saying? But then obviously, yeah, injury happened, and I tried to come back in like 6 weeks. To think back on it now is actually insane, because I didn't realize how bad the injury was. So the injury happened.
You had to get surgery for it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. So obviously injury happened now. I come back 6 weeks, run at regionals, run 10-3. I'm like, okay, this is not right. Something feels off. Go back to UK, fly out to Geneva to run a professional meet, run 10-3 again. I'm like...
And 10-3, just so for the people watching out there, it means 10 seconds?
Yeah, 10.3 seconds.
Okay,
Sorry, 10.3 seconds in 100 meters.
Not minutes, because then he wouldn't be the fastest man.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. But yeah, things just wasn't right. And then I remember I was training and I was getting like mad Achilles pain on my left side, the side of my quad injury, and I had a hamstring strain after my race in Switzerland. So I'm like, something is not right. So obviously I go to see the physio and stuff, and they scan it, and then they see that the tendon was completely ruptured. So like, I was asking them like, how am I running and stuff, and they were just like, you're special. Like, this is a bit wild. Like, you're probably just overcompensating crazily, and they couldn't really give me an answer either. So obviously after that, like, I was just distraught. I remember just being in my car, I called my mom, just in tears. I was like, yo, like, I didn't even realize how bad this injury was. Like, my career is in jeopardy. Obviously, luckily, I have amazing support from British Athletics, so they got me the best surgeon, one of the best in the world, and obviously he repaired it. But the surgery was very difficult. Like, this injury was probably, out of all injuries I've had, was probably the hardest one, because when you don't get surgery straight away, obviously a lot of scar tissue builds up in your muscle, and it's very hard to, like, especially repair it, long story short. Then obviously, yeah, I was doing all my rehab back in summer, and yeah, summer was definitely a tough time, but I came out of it, so.
And then because of that surgery, you missed another year of NCAA eligibility, correct?
Yeah, so the surgery that I missed another year was the hamstring one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in February. Obviously, I ruptured my hamstring. The thing is, obviously, when I did it, I could still walk, so I didn't think it was as bad as it was. And I got a scan, and it turned out it came off the bone. So yeah, I had to get that repaired.
Yeah, that's no bueno. That's no bueno.
No, that's all.
Yeah, definitely not. So one thing that I would say I'm really inspired or impressed that you did. So a lot of these, let's say, content creators or on Instagram or on TikTok, they're always posting the highlights of their life. But you take your fans, if we may call them that, through it all. So when you were breaking records at BU, but also when you were on the operating table, why do that? And why give them exclusive access and to some really personal stuff?
Yeah, so I feel like as athletes, we feel like we have to put up this image of us as being unbreakable and stuff like that. But my thing is, I want to show people that when you're broken down, you can build yourself back up stronger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll post all the times where I was down. I'll post my injuries because, like, it's all part of my story. And I think the keyest thing, especially in my most recent injury, is like, if someone goes on my Instagram page, they're gonna see those posts. So if they're going through the exact same thing, I've literally posted my whole journey. Number one, they can learn from what I'm doing, but number two, they can know, look, there's actually a way out of this. Like, there's actually a way out. Yeah, I'm as big on. Obviously, I don't show everything. As much as people think that I do, like I really don't. Like there's stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes in terms of how I train. That, like I'm just not showing because I just don't have the time. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I'm showing enough to like inspire people that like you don't need to give up when things go wrong. Like the body heals number one. That's a big thing I try to like let people know. Like everyone thinks that my injuries were career ending and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I'll be on Instagram, right, and I'll see like athletes caption, like I might never run again, all this stuff, and like in our day and age, like unless something bad happens, like a major accident, and maybe like a lose a limb or something, I personally don't think that it's always be all the end. Like it's always gonna be the end. Like there's always a way back. You feel me? So that's what I'm trying to show. Like, look, I've had 3 surgeries. Like that's like I have the same injury history like someone in the NFL type thing. Like you know what I'm saying? Like my injury is crazy, but like I always bounce back and faster. Like I know that, especially after my hamstring injury. Like the full training, like I was flying. Like I dead was flying. Like everyone was seeing it, and like it was like, how's he done this again? But like if you do all the right things, you train hard, you're meticulous with your rehab. That's the biggest thing. If you're meticulous with your rehab and you put in effort to actually like make sure everything is on point, you can come back and like, that's what I'm trying to show to people, man. Like there's a whole journey to this. And like when I do come back and run fast, everyone's gonna see everything I did up until that point where that one race comes together. And it's gonna be like, yo, like this is actually insane, you know what I'm saying? And I just hope that story just inspires people, because I know for a fact there's gonna be someone who's gonna come after me that's gonna go through what I go through or even worse. But like now there's a whole blueprint out there for them to be like, look, like there is hope, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, light at the end of the tunnel. It's something that you feature all the time on your Instagram stories. So we're actually gonna take a break right now. We're gonna play one of your videos that shows you in this comeback season. Guys, take a look.
Tired of all these hoes, baby, I need your love.
A lot of people doubt my ability to come back from these injuries. It just means a lot of people are gonna be disappointed.
I just told Bo it's us. I hit that one, no fuss. I hit that one, then cut. Aye, skirt, I'm in a rush. Aye, it's us. Aye, it's us. See me now, they act up. Back then, you wouldn't look my way. Blue little bag today, relax, babe, it's just 10K. The labels know they need me. When I smile, you see the VVs. My bro just got that CC. I just put her in CC. Aye, it's us.
Toby Makoyawo. There he is again. And what's that, Nems playing in the background?
Yeah.
You a fan of Nems?
I'm a fan of him, but it was crazy because it was actually Zach that chose the song. Obviously the guy who produced it.
Yeah, ZT Production does some amazing stuff. So one thing that also has me really fascinated is that you would say that you're pretty, like, you're kept to yourself, you know? But yet, from a social media perspective, you seem so accessible. I don't know of many influencers who are introverts, but you know, here we are with you.
Yeah. Wow. That is like spot on. I think I won't even say I'm an introvert. Like I'm cool speaking to people, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you're doing all right here.
I mean, yeah, man. I'm here. Like if I was an introvert, I wouldn't even be here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I just think I don't conceptualize really and truly like how many views I'd be getting. Like even
millions at times.
That's what I'm saying.
Millions at times.
But like I don't conceptualize it. I just see it as like I'm just putting out content because it just feels right. It feels like purposeful. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I mean, yeah, there are times where I was obsessed with views. I'm not gonna lie to you, and likes and stuff like that. But like as I've started to kind of, you know what I'm saying, make more and more content, it's more so like it just feels purposeful. It feels like it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't make weird content. I make stuff that's like useful, valuable, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I was thinking about. Yeah, and I think I find it my form of expression. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everyone has ways of expressing themselves. I feel like I express myself on the track when I'm running and sprinting, and then I express myself through my content and stuff. And yeah, I just love telling my story. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, so as much as I may not do it through mouth, unless I'm spoken to or in a place like this, like I'm gonna do it through some sort of video form.
Video format. Well, I think a journey is the exact word you can definitely describe it. As anybody that's been following on, it's been an amazing ride so far, and it's not done yet. So now, currently, in an Instagram post, you said that you're transferring.
Yeah.
So one thing you said on the post, you said, "To my coaches, your guidance, wisdom, and unwavering support have not only helped me as an athlete, but an individual. Thank you for pushing me beyond my limits and believing in my potential, even when I doubted myself." So if all that's true during your time here at BU, or if you're referencing your time in England, but I'm guessing it's your time here at BU, why transfer?
Yeah, I think everyone like, I've just had a time here. Let's just say that. Like I've
Okay.
been through a lot of injuries. And like for me personally, I think it's time for me from a mental perspective, purely mental perspective, to like take myself out of this environment and go to somewhere new.
Okay.
I'll say it's not more so about university and stuff. I just think that's life, man. Sometimes you gotta make decisions to move on and make hard decisions and stuff. So for me, yes, I just see it as more like a new chapter. I don't see it as like something that's sad. I see it as like I've been here, I've experienced 3 years, been through a lot of things that have built me into a bigger and better person, and like now I'm moving on to the next and just seeing where things take me. So I mean, yeah, I guess it's sad. Maybe it's sad to some people, maybe it's not. I don't know, but yeah, I just think for me, like I need a fresh start. Yeah.
I mean, it's always sad when you lose a campus celebrity.
It's all referred to crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when someone's getting millions of likes, I would say, yeah, you're pretty much a celebrity. But in an article from BU Today, it said that one of your main reasons why coming here is that you said that Sanders knows that individualizing training is critical for young runners. So when you were here at BU, was that something you experienced? Did you get those personalized, individualized trainings consistently?
Yeah, I would say my freshman year. Yeah, me and my coach at the time obviously had a very close relationship. And we kind of, obviously I would always follow his lead, but he would hear me out, you know what I'm saying, with certain things. I guess as an athlete, you kind of know your body. Yeah, you know what things you respond to well. So I would obviously relay that to him, and like he's still the coach, so he leads, he does his thing. But yeah, I guess he was just very like receptive and kind of would hear me out. He would like to hear me out, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's important because at the end of the day, especially in track and field, like every athlete is different. You have athletes who have different builds, different stride frequency, different stride length. Some respond to better training, some respond to like training that's more CNS based, some respond to training that's more tempo based. Like every athlete is so different. So I guess when you have a coach who understands that and like within his own blueprint makes things work for you, like yeah, you can be successful.
Definitely, definitely. So then it's also come to light that Sanders is no longer with the program. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think obviously it's mixed. The team's mixed about it, I guess, but I guess honestly things just happen in life, you get what I'm saying? Everyone's journey comes to an end, but everyone also has a new chapter. So I just see it as like a fresh start for everyone, fresh start for the team. And yeah, I just wish the team like the best, honestly. I hope a coach who comes in, takes the program and just continues to help it flourish.
So you mentioned next chapter. So in a Daily Free Press article, it said you plan on competing professionally following your 3-year tenure here at BU. Is that still the goal?
Yeah, my end goal will always to be a professional athlete. Obviously in track, being professional means signing with like a shoe brand such as Adidas, Puma, and Nike. Yeah, so that's gonna be my end goal, 100%. Yeah, for me, it's like this has been a dream since I started this, and like for real, like yeah, like I want to be professional so bad. Like I tell everybody the same thing, and like that's just why I haven't given up, man. Like I need to achieve what I set out to do. Yeah, and I don't think it's that far. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I've had a lot of injuries. People have obviously written me off and stuff. They think that my injury history is way too much for me to try to come back. But like I feel like they just don't know what I know, and they don't know how hard I work. Yeah, so I'm just ready to always take on a new challenge, go to my new school. I don't know, hopefully become a national champion in both 100 and 260, whatever it is, man. Like I know I have the ability to be great, and then after that, hopefully just sign a contract and yeah, man, just start my professional life for real.
Yeah, well, we'll be definitely looking forward to that. Your story is so beautiful, and the best part is that it's still in the making. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Toby. Your story is motivating, and I'm honored that you took the time out to share it with us today. Be sure to keep up with all things Makoyawo, got it right, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, I'm your host, Tyler Johnson. Take care.